What if everything you thought you knew about one of America's most controversial political figures was a lie? What if behind the public persona of Tulsi Gabbard lies a secret allegiance, one that reaches far beyond our borders? Tonight, we dive into the conspiracy theory that suggests Tulsi Gabbard is not just a former congresswoman and presidential candidate, but a covert operative with deep ties to Russian interests. A claim that, if true, would rewrite the narrative of American politics and international intrigue. For years, Tulsi Gabbard has been known for her unorthodox stances on foreign policy, her criticisms of U.S. military intervention, and her willingness to challenge established party lines. But to some conspiracy theorists, these very traits are not a sign of independent thought. They are red flags. They argue that her positions, her travel history, and even her public statements hint at a hidden agenda, one orchestrated from beyond American shores. Critics point to her repeated calls for diplomatic engagement with nations long considered adversaries, suggesting that her rhetoric is not solely about peace, but may serve to undermine U.S. influence in favor of a rival power. They say her frequent trips to countries with complex geopolitical ties and her controversial meetings with figures who are sympathetic to Russian narratives could be part of a long game of espionage. Some claim that behind closed doors, Gabbard's policy proposals appear to align with the interests of Russia more than those of the United States. Is it mere political strategy, or is there something more sinister at play? Her critics insist that her seemingly independent voice masks a calculated effort to steer American policy in directions favorable to foreign agendas. The conspiracy deepens when you examine her media appearances. Her speeches, delivered with an air of quiet resolve, are said to contain subtle cues, coded language that some interpret as signals to an unseen network. Every carefully chosen word, every pause, becomes a potential clue in a puzzle that hints at foreign influence working covertly in American politics. Whispers on the internet suggest that powerful intelligence agencies and insiders within political circles have noticed inconsistencies in her background. They cite obscure details, unexplained gaps in her travel records, anonymous tips from former colleagues, and leaked memos hinting at contacts with operatives from overseas. While none of these claims have been proven, they form a tapestry of suspicion that fuels the theory. The timing of her rise in politics, too, is cited as evidence. Some argue that her ascent coincided with shifts in global power dynamics, moments when narratives in Washington began to subtly change, mirroring interests that seem more aligned with a foreign agenda than with traditional American ideals. Could it be that her political evolution was not entirely organic, but instead part of a deliberate plan designed to shape policy from within? Of course, mainstream analysts dismiss these theories as wild speculation, a convenient scapegoating of a maverick politician whose views simply diverge from the norm. They argue that independent thought is not evidence of espionage, and that dissenting opinions are the lifeblood of a healthy democracy. But for those who believe, the theory persists that Tulsi Gabbard is a pawn in a larger game, a figure used to advance the interests of a power that operates far from the public eye. As we sift through the layers of this conspiracy, we're left with unsettling questions. Is it possible that a voice once heralded for challenging the status quo could be part of an intricate web of foreign influence? If so, what does that mean for the integrity of American politics? And how deep do these alleged connections go? The evidence remains circumstantial, a collection of hints, coincidences, and unverified claims. Yet, in a world where information is both a weapon and a shield, the line between truth and conspiracy can blur dangerously. Perhaps the real mystery isn't whether Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian spy, but how easily suspicion can be cast on those who dare to defy conventional narratives. What do you think? Is Tulsi Gabbard simply a bold and independent voice in a polarized political landscape? Or is there a hidden allegiance that defies everything we believe about American patriotism? Could it be that the true espionage is not in her actions, but in the way our perceptions are manipulated by a network of intrigue and misinformation? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and always remember, sometimes the truth is hidden in plain sight, waiting for those brave enough to question the narrative.